Hey everybody, this is TMG Podcast. This is episode 49, and this is a podcast about everything video games. This is Carlos, and with me as well.
Hello.
And Miggy.
Objection! What's up?
Okay, yeah. And yes, we talk about video games a bit too much, and yeah, we
Not
do.
too much, just enough.
Just,
Well, the site is called Too Much
too
Gaming.
much gaming,
so-
yeah.
That's true.
We do talk a lot about it, but we have a lot to talk about. Yes, we do. There's a lot of releases that were announced again this week. We got a confirmation of the next gen version of Grand Theft Auto 5, release date for Dying Light, release date for Super Smash Bros. Wii U, The Walking Dead hitting retail for next gen, and what's that other one? Mortal Kombat 10 and Batman Arkham Knight. They all have release dates now, so we'll mention that in a bit. Another big topic that kind of hit the news around this week, but I think it'll be confirmed by the time you're listening to this. Apparently, Mojang, or the creators of Minecraft, Microsoft is planning to buy that, like
For a good chunk of
for a
cash.
good chunk of of your cash and shit. So we're gonna talk about that and how I think. Well, you think it's a bit too late for that. I think it's
I have my thoughts on that, but I'll save it for the segment.
yeah. And we're also gonna mention Super Smash Brothers is now out officially. Well, not officially for Japan though. It's already out on the 3DS, and apparently there's a lot of character unlocks that Nintendo did not bother mentioning. So that's pretty cool. We'll talk about that in a bit. And also, there's a bit of a problem if ever you do play that game for your 3DS. So, yes, we have a lot to talk about this week. But of course, just like any other episode, we'll talk about our impressions because we play a lot of games. And what have you guys been playing?
I have been playing. I don't know if this is here. Let me get the box. Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney on the 3DS.
You have to get the box for okay.
Well, because I don't know if it's Phoenix Wright versus Professor Layton or vice versa. So I just wanted to make sure I got it right.
Okay, so that's pretty much two of those that
So yeah, for Professor Layton and the Phoenix Wright are two relatively well-known series on the DS and 3DS. Both have a pretty big following. And this is the first crossover between the two, between Level 5, who makes the Professor Layton games, and Capcom, who makes the Ace Attorney games.
Mhm.
So it's not so much a versus thing as they kind of beat up and help each other. But it does take it's basically half the gameplay is Professor Layton and half the gameplay is Phoenix Wright. Like they more or less split the gameplay between each different section. So it's not as like they combine everything together as much as possible. But it's pretty good. It's pretty interesting, actually. And it's a pretty fun game so far.
In Japan, when you say versus, it usually means crossover, and not the versus we usually know. So, like they say that for shows with heroes from different TV series, as they say versus instead of crossover.
So it's not really a verse. It's more like what are they actually helping each other? Like
It's a crossover, and they help each other.
It's a team-up game, basically. But the gameplay is essentially split between when you're walking around and investigating, and the gameplay is Professor Layton style, where you click on stuff and you get puzzles and you solve them. And then
then there's like court cases.
There are other parts where you're in the courtroom. Yeah, where you're in the court and you're defending someone, which is the Phoenix Wright gameplay. So the stuff you find, you know how in like other Phoenix Wright games there are courtroom parts and investigative parts.
The court and investigation areas.
Yeah, they pretty much removed the investigative parts and replaced that with the Professor Layton style wandering around solving puzzles.
So do like
okay. Matching both gameplays together.
Yeah,
do
pretty
people
much.
in the streets ask Phoenix Wright like, "Hey, solve this puzzle"?
It's not really in
Not
that direct
directly.
fashion, but it's pretty much that. Yeah, you click on a guy, exclamation pops up. It's like, oh, I need your help. Help me solve this puzzle.
I have 5 matchsticks.
Yeah. To be fair, I find the puzzles in this game so far a bit easier than a traditional Professor Layton game.
Is there still Picarats?
It's still Picarats, right? And what happens is like
What are Picarats?
Picarats are like the currency.
It's like a point system
It's
for
a
the
point
puzzles.
system.
Oh, okay.
And what's interesting is in the court battle sections, how you have like 5 chances to get
Yeah,
stuff wrong.
you have like a life bar.
Yeah, basically, at the end of each section, that life bar gets translated into Picarats. So,
Ooh, wow.
so the less you fuck up in court, the more points you have as well.
Because in the old Phoenix Wright games, every time you go back into court, your life bar like resets.
Yeah. Here,
This is different. It carries over.
But here it's like each court battle is sort of self-contained. Like, there's no point when like, okay, we're gonna defend this person, we'll defend him a little bit, and then we're gonna take a break and investigate some more, and then we'll finish the court case. It's like, investigate court, and then you defend the person successfully, and then next part, court, like, so, it doesn't really carry over, it just resets after every court section.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Like a mini court case or something.
Yeah, you could. I'd say that's pretty much it. It's a mini court case. I wouldn't say it's just more contained.
Is it similar to the Edgeworth spin-off game, where like the quote unquote court cases happen like on the spot?
No, not at all. You are actually in a court. You're like in a. Well, to give you a little bit background story, what happens is you find both Professor Layton and Phoenix Wright are transported to this sort of fairy tale world, like this through a book called Labyrinthia, and then basically there's a witch's court. So that's where you're playing as Phoenix trying to defend these women, basically, who are being accused of witches.
Oh.
Right? And then beyond the court, you're helping Professor Layton trying to figure out what the heck's going on in this.
I got 5 pancakes. Can you stack them all together?
Is that actual cases what you're mentioning? I mean,
no, those are some puzzles are like that. I mean, they frame it in such a way that it doesn't sound that dumb, but sometimes they really are just that dumb.
Okay. Because I was like, are you mentioning a case in terms of this? Well, but that's pretty cool though. They actually cross over like.
And I think it's a pretty successful crossover. The art style is a bit clashing because of course Layton is drawn in a more cartoony fashion.
Like old school cartoony.
Right.
Well, Phoenix Wright
is more anime style,
anime.
right?
Yeah, it's just flat out anime.
So
I heard it's more anime style because you are defending girls.
Yeah.
So of course they pretty them up.
It is more anime style, but some characters like on the street are definitely drawn in a Layton style as well. So it mixes it up.
So the environment and like the setting, they not only do they mesh up they mesh up the art style of both games. Like the whole city is like what, anime or cartoonish? And then you have characters that are anime,
it's really hard to say. It's a mix of both. There, like you have some characters who are drawn in a Phoenix Wright style, and some are drawn in a Layton style. But you can tell like the characters drawn in a Phoenix Wright style are the characters you end up meeting in court. Because that's where the strength of that art style comes into play. They're more expressive than the Layton style, which is very, very cartoony. And a bit, overly exaggerated in some of their expressions.
I think the Phoenix Wright characters are also like they have a bit of a change in art style. Like their heads are a bit bigger than normal.
That's not something I really noticed.
I remember seeing like the initial gameplay trailers of that. Like the Phoenix Wright characters had like bigger heads than normal. So I guess that helps blend the art styles together more or less.
That's a very subtle difference if that's the case, because that's not something I noticed. But to be fair, they do mix well. They mix. They work together.
Yeah, like even in that anime cutscene, like they look fine. Layton is just like his head is huge. But that's it.
Yeah, because Layton has this huge top hat, right? So it makes his head look
Extra big.
extra big.
Is his head just generally big, or is it just like it just becomes like double the size with the hat? Or
His hat, it's a full-on top hat. So like his head's quite large.
okay,
But yeah, there you go. That's what I've been playing. If you like Phoenix Wright, if you like Professor Layton, very well worth checking out. And of course,
I should bother because I have no experience with those kinds of games. Like even Phoenix Wright that you mentioned, Migs, like last week, and then Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright, and then I would definitely want to jump in because there's got to be a reason. There's a big following and there's a big fan base for this.
Oh, this is one of the few times there's some voice acting involved with Phoenix and Maya, so I'm very used to not hearing Phoenix talk, so it was a bit of a shock that his voice sounded like that. It in my mind, it sounded nothing like what.
All right, it wasn't like what you expected.
Is it a different voice actor compared to like the dude doing his voice in Ultimate Marvel 3?
It sounds different to me, but maybe it's because like in Ultimate Marvel 3, he's just making lots of little one-liners. Here, he's talking sentences.
No,
and
because
it kind of throws me off.
In Marvel 3, the voice of Phoenix Wright, I don't know the name. Basta, do you know the 2003 Ninja Turtles cartoon?
Yes.
The voice of Donatello there is the voice of Phoenix Wright in Marvel 3.
Oh, okay.
Who also does his voice in Phoenix Wright 5.
Oh, well, I'll have to check the credit sequence later. But I mean, there are some, like the voice of Luke is different. Is a different voice actor from the traditional voice actor.
Oh, okay.
I think the voice actor of Luke is the voice actor from
the movie,
from the film, rather than from the game.
Oh god,
but
that voice actor
Layton,
sucks though.
Yes, but Professor Layton sounds the same.
Oh, he should sound the same, because then,
yeah.
you know.
The new prosecutor characters are quite cool. I like them a lot. Like, again, like to explain again, you're thrown into this sort of medieval fantasy world that you don't really know how. And then basically the prosecutor is this Inquisitor Knight guy who's pretty badass. I like him a lot. He's very sharp. And then another one, who's a woman, but I haven't gotten to see what she's like in court yet, so I won't comment on that. But the new characters that are introduced are all quite interesting characters. I have to say that they did a good job in rounding them off pretty well.
Interesting. Oh, cool.
So that's what I've been playing.
What about you, Migs? How's your week been?
You know that for the 3DS, the Integrates game Azure Striker Gunvolt came out not too long ago? Along with that, they released a sort of weird little 8-bit game on the 3DS called Mighty Gunvolt.
Okay.
And it essentially has Gunvolt in a small chibi 8-bit style, along with Beck from Mighty Number 9. So this is the
Beck
first.
it's a character from an upcoming game.
Yeah, the spiritual successor to Mega Man.
To Mega Man. I don't know why he needs a spiritual successor, but yeah.
Because Mega Man's dead.
In people's minds, yeah. So hey, so what's
in Capcom's mind?
Capcom's mind. So what is that? What is
Mighty Gunvolt? It's a side-scrolling jump and shoot thing, similar to old Mega Man games. But you have 3 characters that you can choose from. One of them is Gunvolt, the other one is Beck, and the third is a character from a bizarre game called Galgun. Have you heard about that?
No, I've never heard about that one.
It's like a first-person light gun game, but you shoot hearts at schoolgirls, and they fall in love with you.
Oh,
I need to find that game right now.
Japan.
I think it's on PS3, but I'm not sure.
Japan.
So, yeah, and like each character has different abilities.
Yeah.
They do the basic jump and shoot thing. Then you like run to the right and shoot enemies.
Is there like a slide and jump?
Yeah, there is. Like
traditional way of
Gunvolt has a double jump.
Okay.
Beck has a Mega Man slide, and like the Galgun girl, I forget her name. She can hover in the air. And they all have different charge shots. Like Gunvolt will shoot like a beam of electricity that you can aim around, and it does like consistent hits of damage. Beck can do his absorb dash that he has in Mighty Number 9. And then the Galgun girl, she shoots a big heart, and if it hits an enemy and then you kill that enemy, the enemy will go towards you and be as your support character behind you.
Because why not, right?
It's
a
weird.
It's a heart, hitting a person. It's gotta affect them that way. So how's the gameplay? Is it actually solid?
It's really smooth and really responsive. Like,
and it's a traditional Mega Man kind of gameplay where you have the platforming.
Yeah, like you jump and shoot, run to the right, etc. But like I'd say it plays more like a Game Boy Color side scroller. But like a really smooth one, because like the way it feels and the way it looks reminds me more of a Game Boy Color game. And like there's not a lot of levels. I think there's only 8 or less stages, and each stage has a boss, and they all have the same patterns. And you can beat it in like maybe an hour, 30 minutes of all 3 characters now, maybe even less.
Oh wow, that's actually really short.
It's really short.
Is it like a test game or like a bet or a?
I'm not sure if you can buy it on the eShop.
Yeah.
But people who backed Mighty Number 9 on Kickstarter were given a code through email.
Oh, for Gunvolt.
And I'm not sure, but I think if you buy the game Gunvolt, it's probably in there somewhere. Maybe like as a redeemable code as well. So that's something. It's a weird little crossover that nobody expected.
I didn't even hear about it, and that's actually the characters meshing together just for the fun of it. How many characters? I mean, how many bosses are you going through? Like, if you're saying you can finish it in an hour.
There's one boss per stage, and they're all designed very uniquely. And they all have different patterns. So, like, some are you have to wait around and watch your patterns, and some are just really aggressive, and you have to react.
Yeah.
And it's not all that hard. I actually wish it had like a second difficulty mode when you beat it with all 3 characters.
Yeah.
Just to have like a little replayability. Because I find it a bit too easy. Like you die maybe only at the boss. Like the stages are baby easy, you don't need to try. But like the bosses, like they take a little effort, but then you can beat them before even losing half your lives.
Oh, okay.
So that's it. But it's a neat little thing.
And if anybody wants to pick up this Gunvolt, is it easy to access, or you have to actually buy like Gunvolt? Or
I'm not sure how to buy Mighty Gunvolt, but I think it's included in Azure Striker Gunvolt, which you can buy on cart or on the eShop. So.
And this is like to just confirm this from the 3DS.
If you back Mighty Number 9, just check your emails, I guess.
Even just $5?
Yeah, even if it's just $5. They email you, so.
Perks. Well, that's pretty cool. For me, I've been playing,
we know what you've been playing.
a very hotly anticipated game that just came out, and that is Destiny. Destiny just came out September 9. I got it, played it on September 9. And I have a lot to say about that game. I don't even know where to start.
My first question is, should we believe the hype? Because this game has been hyped the hell and back.
No.
It has been like 10 billion awards before it's even released,
No.
Okay.
Wasn't this the game that also like broke pre-orders? Because there were just so many.
Yep. Do not believe the hype. Whoever did the marketing of Destiny, give them the awards.
So it was Sony, I guess.
No, give them awards. But I'm not saying that it's a horrible game.
Yeah.
It's just very misleading. It's super misleading. And there are so many factors too. But Watch Dogs, it's an open world game, right? And then we know that there's a cool concept within Watch Dogs. And then I guess we just came out disappointed because, it wasn't as much as we were expecting. In Destiny, yes, though it was overly hyped, a lot of people were disappointed, but it wasn't because it was a bit too much. It's more like it was trying to be so many different things. Like like the Destiny was, or Bungie was trying to cater to maybe to an MMO market, to an FPS market, to an RPG market. Like, remember when I was saying that when we were talking about Destiny a couple of episodes ago, like, I didn't know what the hell this was.
Right.
When I was playing this game, I'm still wondering what the hell it's trying to be. Because is it an RPG? Is it going to be a grind fest? Is it trying to be an MMO open world, massively multiplayer online game? Is it trying to be story driven, campaignish, like something similar to Halo? It has all these small elements. They have every single one. Destiny borrows a single portion of those kinds of games into this world. And all throughout, I'm just wondering, it feels like it's confused. It's like trying to be everything. It's definitely very ambitious, but all those marketing, all those that, they just blow it out of proportion. And a lot of people right now are just getting a little bit more disappointed. But as much as I got disappointed, and there's so many problems with this game, I'm actually having a lot of fun with this game, which is really weird. Like, I really love playing this game, but I do not recommend it to anybody, if this makes any sense. Because I don't know where Destiny can lie. Like, can I recommend this game for people who loved Halo? Or can I recommend this game for 'cause it has those grindy RPG Diablo-esque grinding. So can I recommend it to those people or to the MMO people?
How
the thing.
How much of an MMO is it? Is it like is it really like are there like hundreds of, you have to connect to a server to play, or?
Destiny in itself is already an online always online game.
I see.
So when you get the title screen, you connect to the servers, and then you just see your characters right off the bat. So yes, it's an online only game, and it's not like millions of people in the screen. I think at most you'll see, because there's a thing called the tower, which is pretty much the hub where all the players gather, and then do their things like buy, sell,
right.
talk to the vendors. I think up to now it can only for each server it can only reach up to 16 players. Only 16 players, and I think that enough already can indicate that it's not as massive as enough to stamp this game as an MMO. Because that's what Bungie has been trying to do, putting we're having MMO elements into this, making a massively living, breathing world. No, it's not. It's just you have people just wandering around.
Is it like instance though when you go out of the hub and into the world itself, maybe
okay.
4 of you could be doing this particular area, and then another 4 come in, and then it's a different instance of the same area, or?
Essentially, it's like you first start off in orbit once you've done the introduction part of the game.
Yeah.
And from there, that's when the orbit's pretty much that's the time where you can actually choose where to go, what you want to do, who you want to pair up with. And then that's when you guys all, together launch to that specific location. Or, someone can just, jump into your fire team, and then they'll just, jump into your game. So it's not like by instance you have to walk to that one spot and then it loads and then there's another one. It's not like that.
I see.
So Destiny, where do I start this? Like what I was saying earlier, it's overly hyped. But a lot of people are being disappointed by this game. I'm not sure if you guys checked out the reviews. I think when you do check out the reviews, like maybe Polygon, from Escapist, or any of those, any of those sites that you kind of trust. I read a couple of them already, and they kind of hit the points properly. Like they pretty much nail what's really inside Destiny. And then the biggest way I can describe it is it's a shallow. It has a shallow personality, but an amazing foundation. So it's just everything around what they've built is the biggest problem. The worlds are kind of empty.
Right.
It's so grindy in the end game, which again, it's one of those MMO elements.
Were you able to reach the end game like that quickly already? Or is this just a hearing that it's really grindy up there?
it's grindy up there, but the campaign or the progress from level 1 to the max level, it took me around 15 to 16 hours.
Okay, that seems pretty quick then.
It seems pretty quick, but that's actually a good for me. It seems like a good length for a campaign,
Right.
in a sense. It's a good length because technically you are going through a campaign, and that's still 15 to 16 hours just to get to the max level. When you get to the max level, that's when you can start doing the end game grind. That's kind of similar to Diablo 3 or like any other MMO where you have to
Like
better
Paragon
gear.
levels and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, because apparently when you get to max level of the max level of 20, you can then go up to the hard cap, which is level 30, and you can only reach that by getting better gear. Because there's a specific stat called light that if you stack that up, your level goes higher. And once your level goes higher, you can do much harder difficulties or much harder missions and whatnot. And then that's when the grind happens. So yeah, the game is very grind. But I'll hit that first. I want to hit in the good points first, and then maybe mention already the bad.
All right.
Because for one, the reason why I'm having so much fun with this game is the fact it's one of the best shooters I think I've felt in a while. Like Battlefield 4 is nothing compared to this. Like it's just like the fundamentals of the shooter. Like the guns feel amazing. The movement feels very similar to Halo, which is a really good thing, to be honest. Because I think it blends well. Like the floaty feel that you get. It's a perfect sci-fi feel for a shooter. And I think if you say this game is really compared to like Borderlands, I think this is a much better version of Borderlands. It's just not as funny. So take it as you will, and if you kind of wish that you kind of want some humor into your loot grind. The whole like drop in, drop out thing that they were talking about, like when you walk around the world and then people just randomly appear at you and might help you or whatnot. That actually works. You actually do find like every now and then someone will just randomly appear out of like in the horizon or whatnot, and they'll just jump and do whatever he wants. So that works. Essentially, the missions, though, as much as it's a 15 to 16 hour game, it's, how do I say this? It's just very dull. It's very repetitive. I don't know. You've played Halo 4, right?
Yes.
The campaign where it's just pretty much going from one point to the next, shoot a wave of enemies, go to the next room, shoot another wave, go to the next room.
Basically, the campaign sounds like it's very Halo. It's ish. It's
Yeah, they don't try to break it. They don't try to break it. Not like in Wolfenstein where they try to like they give you some certain like stealth.
Are there vehicles in the game like in Halo?
There is vehicles.
Oh, okay.
Yes, there's vehicles. There's like the vehicles that are very similar to Halo vehicles as well. Like there's a tank that's very floating. That's a big charge. There's also like a thing called a pike, which is very very similar to a Banshee. It's just a little bit more of a bike style. Visually, the game does look amazing, but it's not as groundbreaking as people think. It does look like one of the best looking games though. Especially when you go to the moon.
How easy is it to communicate with other players? Like, do you feel the lack of the keyboard when you're trying to talk to people, or?
That's another big problem with what Bungie's trying to do, like a whole like an MMO-esque kind of game.
Are you forced to use voice basically to?
I'm forced to use voice. I'm forced to like invite them to my fire team so that I can talk to them because there's no chat.
Oh, I see.
If there's someone there, all I can do is wave or dance in front of him or sit down. That's the only thing I can actually do to communicate with the player that's in front of me. If I really want to communicate with him, I have to actually invite him to the firefight and hope that he has a mic because there's no form of chat or whatnot. So this game is very heavily emphasized at you have to play this game with friends. Or either that or you make more friends through PSN.
So in that sense, it sounds like that aspect plus the loot, which I don't think you've talked about yet, is similar to Borderlands.
Yeah, it's similar to Borderlands. And when it comes to loot, it's actually separate. It does not when things die, like people start picking it up.
Right.
You all have your separate loot. So that would be a problem. But when I was playing this game, though, I played like maybe the first few stages of the game. if someone's going to pick up Destiny, it has to be played with friends. Just like how Borderlands is, like it has to be played with friends.
Right.
It's very hard to play a game or play that kind of game by yourself. You'll appreciate it more. But the one thing is when I was going through the campaign though is I think is the biggest turnoff with everybody in Destiny is the fact is the story. I've never seen the most stupidest and ridiculous narrative ever.
Thanks, Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage, I'm not. Even if he did a good job, it wouldn't save what happened to this story, to this narrative that Bungie was, telling that it would be so amazing and whatnot. Because for one, I can't even tell you a character. Because I don't think there is any character that I experienced when I went to the campaign. I think there's I think the Queen of the Fallen, that's one character, but they never gave me the name of the Queen. I don't even know if she's a bad guy. My point is, there's no characters and there's no character progression between Ghost, that little Peter Dinklage, like the little robot that's kind of similar to any other sci-fi robot that's in the video game world, and yourself. Like, there's no character progression. Maybe halfway and towards the end, you don't know what the hell's going on. Oh. And flat out, you just don't care anymore once the credits roll. And when the credits roll, I don't even know what happened. I mean, I don't even know what everybody's.
You didn't even realize. Oh, that's it. That's the end.
I literally said that's it. I mean, that was actually the end. I mean, no, I didn't understand that. I didn't think the final confrontation was actually the final confrontation. So, the campaign is literally just horrendous. I think maybe Titanfall had a little bit more.
Wow.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
That's a very low bar you're putting there. Cause
I'm saying a low bar because I can't literally tell you a character in Destiny. I can't. That's already telling you a lot because they didn't even bother to give you names or make you care about a character.
Right.
It's not like in Halo where you have Master Chief and then Master Chief and Cortana are pretty much the only characters you kind of can relate. And I don't remember the other characters in Halo, to be honest. But there's those two iconic characters. Even in Destiny, there's only I guess Ghost, Peter Dinklage.
Apart from Peter Dinklage, there you go, right?
That's about it. It's so, I don't know. It was weird that when I was playing the game, and then we actually I think we were midpoint in the game, and me and my friends when we were playing it, when we saw new characters, like, oh my god, character progression. And then they're talking and talking. Oh my god, they're interacting. This is 10 hours in. It was just really bad. It was whoever is interested in getting a story.
So like
what?
So like there's no like real story. You're just a dude there, I guess.
You're a dude. Okay. The story in a nutshell.
What about lore wise? Do they bother to explain lore?
No. You have these cards if ever you want to know what's going on. They gave you the gist of it in the start, where it's pretty much there's this thing called a Traveler, a big orb that appears in Earth, and that being or that little orb apparently started the golden age for humanity, which pretty much enhanced our technology, our way of thinking and learning, and thus making us like go interstellar travel. We populated Venus, we populated the moon, we populated Mars. Like we were thriving, and then sadly, the main enemy of the Traveler, which is the darkness, catches up. Yes, the darkness catches up to him, and then pretty much goes against the Traveler, and pretty much annihilates the human race, annihilates the colonies in Venus, annihilates the colonies in Mars, and thus, the last bastion is on Earth, and the Traveler was supposed to be protecting that last bastion, that last city. And a couple of years after, the Traveler kind of lost its power. It just disappears. Like the Traveler becomes like the orb becomes just an empty shell. And before it supposedly dies or like turns off, it creates those little machines called ghosts, which is pretty much Peter Dinklage. Like he makes millions of those things and finds dead bodies.
So that's
to
why
revive.
everyone has one.
Yeah. Like dead, chosen bodies or whatever to be revived and become a guardian which will be a being that can make use of the traveler's light powers, or like the using light to fight off the darkness or whatever.
Wow.
That's what it was. So, you start
Are
the
you
game
sure
starts
this
up
isn't
with
Kingdom Hearts?
okay, dude. I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm telling you right now that the way they use the words in Destiny is just completely. It made me shiver. I can't believe it. Like seriously, darkness, light, traveler. The enemies, the enemy types, Cabal.
Those lifeless
Fallen.
things you said like remind me of the nobodies as well.
Yeah, it was really, really bad. The atmosphere though was great. Like the setting, like pretty much like a post-apocalyptic sci-fi setting. Like we lost now Venus, we lost Mars, everything's in ruins. We're kind of fending it off. That's pretty cool. I won't have to lie about that. Exploring those, seeing the setting of each city and everything, that was pretty cool. But the narrative to actually see and explore it, and then, I was expecting to see a Mass Effect feel. Like, a bunch of characters, a bunch of aliens, a bunch of colonies, you're getting lots of lore.
Yeah.
No, we didn't get that. You won't get that. So in a nutshell, if you guys are looking for a sci-fi story-driven game that's maybe similar to Mass Effect or even Halo, you will not get it here. You will not get it in Destiny at all. Like, that's the biggest, I think, letdown in this game because of, how much of the hype they build up. What else do I got here? Okay, I'm rating a negative, obviously. I'm rating a negative. You know how they were saying that you can actually explore the world, like, explore Mars and then find different things to do and whatnot. Aside from the missions, there are certain like a thing called a patrol mission where you can actually, instead of going to a specific location for the mission, you're free to just roam, just like GTA style, like the sandbox.
Yeah.
Where you want. That's where you're supposed to explore, do public events with other players and whatnot. Sadly, that's also a missed opportunity because the world that they placed in, like, it's empty. Like, it's just filled with enemies. Like, there are missions that are like placed here and there in certain locations, and when you plop it, it's just literally telling you to kill this, fetch that, scan this, and then you get XP or reputation points, and it becomes just a grind. And the exploration during that patrol mission, it just feels like everything is well polished, well designed, but there's nothing inside it. And that's what you always feel every time you actually bother to explore this world. It feels like it's completely complete, but there's nothing inside.
I see.
It's a really pretty world that's dead because there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's no one in it.
Because I think I found like 3K that looked really interesting, but when I went inside, there's nothing inside. So I just
That's a shame.
that's a big shame. And the public event that they were raving about, it's hard to find. Like it's rarely triggers, and I don't even know where it happens. And if I do find it, which I did a couple of times, it's just pretty much you killing it's either you killing a boss, like a tank, you all together, band together, the players do come in and start helping you out, we win, yay. That's a public event, or you destroy a wave of like maybe 5 waves of enemies, and that's it. That's a public event. Stuff like that. It's lacking. The content for those open world-ish MMO style mode in Destiny is very lacking. What else do we have here?
But okay, all that said, it does sound like we're not going to be. It sounds like there's a lot of potential here for them to add a lot of content. And for me, it sounds like
it feels like a prequel.
It doesn't sound like they're going to work on a Destiny 2 anytime soon, considering they're trying to push this as more of an MMO thing, right? Do you feel?
That's what I felt like. They're kind of pushing it as an MMO thing, but it's more being pushed as a Diablo or more of a Diablo 3 kind of thing.
Oh, really? Okay.
You band together as friends. You do like you join in to find better loot. That's about it. I think the only time where MMOs start to kick in is because there's a thing called strikes, which are pretty much instances where you go through a wave of enemies, and towards the end you fight a really unique boss, and then towards the end you get rewards and whatnot. Like I think that's the small element of like MMO to it. But Because they were like even Bungie was saying like technically the game will start or the fun will begin at level. No, I don't think they said fun, but the game, the true game will start once you hit level 20. And
that's never a good thing, you know. I don't like it when people start saying that shit for any MMO. It's like, oh, the game starts at the end game. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel very. I don't like that. I just don't like that.
That's just funny though. Like once level 20 hit, I'd think that I would be like kind of stop playing it. That's why I'm kind of confused. That's why I'm saying I enjoy playing this game because it has amazing shooting.
Right.
And it's a lot of fun with friends. And the grind to get better gear, that's just personally me. Because I guess you guys already know that I played Diablo 3 like a fucking crazy person.
Yeah.
So this is actually right up my alley. Like I am enjoying doing the grind, finding those exotic or legendary items, and just getting myself a better character. So that's the grinding is okay with me. But for those that don't like the grind, this is very grindy. So you have to get away from it as much as possible. It's not something you enjoy. But another good point though, before I close, multiplayer. As much as I'm bashing, or not I'm bashing, more like just putting out the points about the negative points of Destiny, in multiplayer, I have no problems for it whatsoever. It's actually a really, really good multiplayer. It has good enough to rival Titanfall, Call of Duty, Battlefield, or even Halo. It's really well polished. I think it's balanced based on like all the skills of your characters and whatnot. It's very balanced. And you can actually, and I like the fact you can actually carry your items to multiplayer, and then actually earn like new items or new gear after every match.
That's good.
It's very refreshing. It's a lot of fun, and they have very interesting game modes. Like they have a traditional team deathmatch or like the domination, but they have those 3v3 matches that are very team based, very team oriented, which I really appreciate because. It's not a run and gun Call of Duty. It's not a solo lone wolf Halo-ish kind of thing. It's more of a team-based thing. It's actually pretty cool. It's only 6v6 though. It's nothing like Battlefield 4 or anything like that. It's only 6v6, and at the least you can go down to 3v3 if you want to be like very personal. Like because fire teams are up to only 3 players, so it's fire team versus fire team. But yeah, multiplayer is really good. And that's why when I was going to this cast and I was thinking about Destiny, I was trying to ask on the question that there are so many. This is obviously overhyped. There's so many wrong, I think, in terms of the campaign, in terms of like so many missed opportunities for this game that is supposed to be, by the way, like $500 in the making. Like that's how much money Activision and Bungie, injected into this project. As much as all that I mentioned, I'm still playing it. I'm still having a lot of fun with it. So there's definitely a potential there for me. Like I like the multiplayer. I like playing it with friends. So
yeah, we were discussing this. Like
it's hard.
It's one of those things when just saying like, oh, it's kind of like Halo meets Borderlands just doesn't really convey the game properly at all. Like you from everything I've heard. You really need to play this to understand what it's trying to do.
Yeah, because I was trying to find the best way to explain this because I can't really like say that this is an MMO. I can't really say this is a full-on Halo-ish like version of it because they dump in so many different elements to it that it like you can tell that Bungie wants this to be a completely different thing. And I can sort of see that, but I think they're really missing the ball here. But what I do like, and I hope people see it, is that there's a really strong foundation here that they could actually translate to the next game or to future patches or whatever. Because just like how remember Assassin's Creed 1 and then the jump between Assassin's Creed 2
right,
or whatnot.
Right.
Like, there's a big difference. Like Assassin's Creed 1 had an amazing foundation and then bam, we have that fucking yearly thing for Assassin's Creed. This is a 10-year project. So I don't know if this is really intentional from Bungie or from Activision. I really doubt Bungie is that kind of like naive or ignorant to have this kind of like, the story is fine, they like the grind anyway. I'm kind of hopeful they think that this is their start and they'll just progress through as the weeks go by. Because Bungie is saying that they'll be updating this game like weekly, or like they'll be constantly giving you players something to do. That's one of their promises as well. So they are literally they're in a hot spot because they promised so much in Bungie in Destiny. I mean, and so far I think 50% are coming out not true, sadly. So I think Will is right. Yes, it's getting bombarded now with pretty mediocre reviews, but people like playing it. So it's really a big risk, and you can only really understand it if you actually play the game. That's my kind of thing. That's my take on it. Like I'm still a player in a bit. Like I'm actually enticed to do more multiplayer
to keep grinding.
Yeah,
away.
to keep playing. Yeah, to keep grinding away. So yeah, Destiny, but it's definitely like I'll say it again, just to clarify, it's not. Don't believe the hype. Screw hype. The hype was too much.
But it is a good game. It's at least you could say it's fun.
It's a fun game. It's polished. It's definitely polished. It's a fun shooter. All right, down with the news. The news, not many like big topics, but there's a ton of release dates for big titles coming up. One, since it's one of the close release dates, Super Smash Bros. The Wii U version has an official release date, which is November 21. So
is that confirmed?
It's confirmed. Yeah, so far it's being considered.
Last time I saw it was like rumored to come out November 21. I didn't look into it as much though.
No, there's a photo. Like people are showing photos of a pre-order card for the Wii U version of Smash Bros.
All right,
it's confirmed.
But has Nintendo confirmed it?
Has Nintendo confirmed it? I don't think so. As usual, they don't hear anything like that. So it's possibly November 21. So we'll just have to confirm it, hopefully by next week. But I think it's about time they give a release date anyway, since it's like September. When will people know to actually buy the game? Especially when it may also make sense since Super Smash Bros. The 3DS version actually came out this week.
Yeah, but
Japan.
then remember the 3DS version was supposed to come out months ago.
Yeah, but they mentioned they were yeah. Super Smash Bros. People are now saying that there's now a release date for the Wii U version. So, clean up the dust out of your Wii U. You might have a game coming up soon. Another game around November that's been announced, GTA 5 for next gen. The PS4 and the Xbox One version is coming out on November 18. Oh, and also the PC, sorry. So, is it? Well, I don't know. I don't think I'll ever double dip on GTA 5.
Well, they remember they had this
will.
interesting feature where you could transfer your save game from your last gen to the next gen. So it seems like they kind of want you to double dip.
Oh wait, let me confirm this though. I think I mentioned it wrong. GTA 5 is coming to PlayStation 4, Xbox One on November 18.
Yep.
For the PC owners on Jan 27.
Right. Which is
next year.
I'm pretty sure.
I think that sounds right.
I'm actually looking forward to the PC version coming out because that's when the modding community gets their hands on it and do all kinds of weird.
Yep.
You've seen how crazy the PS3 mods have gotten, so just imagine it on PC.
I even just like say example the mods from GTA 4 on PC is already quite a lot of that's pretty impressive already.
They already dumped a Watch Dogs mod for GTA 4 that we were mentioning earlier in the break. So yeah, mods make any game better. Actually, I wish that Rockstar actually listens to the fans and actually release Red Dead Redemption on PC.
Oh god,
that'd be pretty awesome.
It would.
A modding community. So, but yeah. GTA 5, like what Will mentioned, there's also going to be save file transfer, which also I think will include Xbox 360 to even PS4. Like there's that kind of cross. I'm not too sure yet about that, but there's going to be a save. You can transfer your save
to the next gen,
probably
to the next
through
gen.
the Rockstar account system. That's what I'm guessing.
The Rockstar. I think the only.
Dude, have you seen the new trailer for that? I mean,
yeah,
not.
Yeah, I saw it. Well, not new,
How
yeah,
could
but I
you
saw
not
it.
say no to double dipping to that? That looks so good.
Eh,
Like I talked about this with Arlie yesterday, and we're like, man, we're all so hype about GTA 5 all over again.
are you serious? I don't know. Maybe I'm just
Dude,
not that.
that game is so good.
I don't think I've ever doubled. I think,
Even
come to think of it,
even
I
I
don't think
got
I've doubled
excited.
dipped.
I want to play it again right now, and I don't have a PS4.
I think because I don't think I remember myself actually double dipping on any open world game. I think maybe after, no, no, I can't really say that. I have double dip on Skyrim already. No, actually, yeah, I did that. I double dip on Skyrim already. I don't know. I guess I don't know why, but I just don't feel it. I don't feel like bothering to, play it again just for the sake of like having it on my PS4. But yeah, GTA 5 is definitely coming. It's not, rumored, cancelled, whatever. It's coming. It's definitely coming. Another big, not really big. It's very long from now. It's Mortal Kombat 10 has now an official release date, which is April 17, 2015.
Woo! And
Long way
if
from
you
now.
pre-order, you get
It's a lot earlier
Goro.
than I expected it.
Actually, yeah, that's true. I didn't expect it to actually have a release date like this
I hope
soon.
it releases though with a good number of fighters, and then they can have their
Nothing.
season.
I hope it's nothing similar to like Killer Instinct. That's all I want to say.
Yeah,
That's all I want to say.
but knowing this is NetherRealm Studios, so I'm expecting a whole Injustice style season 1, season 2, sort of thing
Yeah,
to eventually happen.
if ever, we're gonna get like at least 20 characters for this,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which
No,
is
and then like what
okay.
Will mentioned, you can actually, if you pre-order the game now,
You get Goro.
you get Gore, which I really hate that shit. Like seriously, I pre-orders I do every now and then, but when you add a character as a pre-order, like a playable fighting character for a fighting game, I mean like,
Uh,
ugh.
NetherRealm
Well,
seems scumbagy with their DLC, so it's fine. It's gonna come out like regularly eventually.
yeah, eventually, but we still have to pay right off the bat. Well, anyway, yeah, that's fine. But I guess it's just weird. Anyway, yeah, Mortal Kombat 10, April 17. I'm sure you two are really excited about it.
Depends on what system it comes out on, though. For me, at least.
It's definitely gonna be an next gen though. I'm almost
I
positive.
listened to the old episodes of the Giant Bombcast recently,
Yeah.
and they got Ed Boon in one of their E3 episodes.
Oh, did it confirm previous gen?
Not really, but like they sort of joked around a bit, like since they were talking about the Unreal 3 that was heavily modded for MK9, and how they're still using that for MK10, and like applying that to the next gen consoles, like is it difficult, etc., etc. And like why not use Unreal 4, blah blah blah, and like Ed Boon said Unreal 3 was, it was already heavily modded for 9, so like they're more comfortable using that as opposed to
Yeah.
Unreal 4, which is like really new. And like I think they started development of MKX before Unreal 4 was announced. And like
That makes sense.
they're
Yeah.
the core team is developing it purely on PS4 and Xbox One next gen. And then I think Jeff Gerstmann from Giant Bomb mentioned that like what about previous gen like PS3, Xbox? And Ed Boon was like, "Oh, we're not handling that." And I think Jeff Gerstmann said, "Oh, is it gonna be like the studios that handle ports?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
I think he threw a
Just like how
statement at that.
Titanfall had a PC, Xbox One, like it's Respawn's working on that.
And then they
And
had
then
the Xbox 360 port, right?
yes, I don't even know what studio did that, but
Yeah,
yeah,
so
a different
so
studio
I
worked
think
on
like
that version.
they hinted that another studio is gonna work on the port, like once the next gen one is complete. So that gave me some hope because I might still be able to play MKX.
Well, I don't want to burst your bubble or anything, but when I base this on what happened in Titanfall, you are last in line in terms of like
Fine.
updates and whatnot. Like,
As long as I get to play it.
dude, you'll have a good amount of like months to like maybe consider buying a Xbox One or a PS4 for MK10. Like I think it'll be, I think around April of 2015, I think it'll be a very good point where I can actually highly recommend people to buy a like a next gen version already of consoles. So, yeah. Another big release date. The Batman, the Arkham Knight. surprisingly, it's not coming out in Feb of 2015. It's coming out on June 2
Late
for
again.
Xbox.
But
For Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. There's no previous gen, as you know, no one has announced that yet.
I think they admitted that there won't be a previous
Yeah,
gen
that was
for
one
this.
if I recall correctly, this is one of the first
Next gen.
only games to be made.
Yeah. Dude, Batman, Batmobile, yay.
I'm not fond of that series.
Arkham, huh? You're not a fan of the Arkham series?
No, I finished Asylum. I have 2 copies of City. Yeah, it's not my game. It's not my series.
You serious? It's one of the best Batman games ever.
I don't know. I find it so boring though.
Huh?
Like, spider sense is tingling. Press triangle, then match square. And you got a 9 combo. Press circle to unleash bats.
Makes sense since you like Bayonetta.
Yeah, like I like more control in my action game.
Yeah. I kind of get you. I get you. But yeah, those are the big release dates coming out. Well, announced really. 2015 is coming out pretty heavy already at this early stage. Like I'm sure, like as we go in a couple of months, there'll be more announcements coming in, especially around towards December. Another game I want to mention before we hit a really big topic. Resident Evil Revelations 2 was announced like recently, and a lot of new information was mentioned. Capcom has released a game trailer for Revelations 2, and I think the biggest or the latest update regarding this game is the fact that it's coming out as an episodic title. Episodic meaning it will come as like in parts, just like in The Walking Dead or The Wolf Among Us. And it doesn't make any sense. Does it make any sense to you guys to actually do something?
No, it does not.
Episodic Resident Evil? Well, I guess I can see it working, but what's the incentive to do so?
Yeah, like weekly episodes will run you $6 per episode, but you can pre-purchase all 4 for $24.99 and pay $1 more. So
like
it's this digital, okay? If you want to wait for the disc, Capcom will sell you one after the series concludes for $40. So
I can see the Resident Evil series episodically, but from Capcom, that's where the cloudy stuff comes in. Because I don't see them pulling this off correctly.
I don't think it's pulling off correctly, and the reason why these episodic games actually work is because they're story-driven games. As much as Resident Evil tries to be a they don't try to be a story-driven game. That's the thing.
It's a fucking virus. It's not even like
it's a horror game mixed with a lot of action by accident. You know what I mean? Like that's what the game is all about. So that being, because they were also mentioning that they'll have like very intense cliffhangers every episode. Okay, but it's not gonna work with this kind of setting or this kind of genre. Like story-driven games are best known for like episodic games. Obviously, thanks to Telltale Games. So this is gonna be really weird. This is gonna be very interesting how it's gonna come out. It's weird how Capcom just tries these on the very big franchises. But in terms of the setting though for Revelations 2, they also already informed, like they already mentioned a couple of information. This will take place in between Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 6, and you play as Claire Redfield again.
No, she wasn't in 6, so.
Yeah, she wasn't in 6, so. Claire Redfield will be together with Moira Burton, which is pretty much Barry Burton's daughter. Barry Burton was pretty much the character in the first game.
The fat guy from 1.
Barry!
Yeah. Barry!
You were almost a Jill sandwich.
That Barry.
Yep, that Barry. She's alive. He's alive. No, he's not alive. She's alive. And Claire and Moira is stuck in a island, like a prison island.
And there are zombies.
There are zombies. Yeah, the pair are stolen away to a mysterious island, and you know what happens. The evil will try to consume them.
The zombies and all that.
Sounds
The
like
zombies
bullshit.
Have you guys played Revelations? Like people say that's the best one so far.
I played the demo of the HD version. It controls really
I did
well.
too. Yeah, it
looks a lot more fun than 6. 6 was just garbage.
I agree 100% on that one. Yes. just the demo alone was much more worthwhile than Resident Evil 6. What about you, Will? Did you play Revelations?
I have. I need to finish it still, though.
Where do you have it on?
PS3.
Okay, because I'm thinking of whether to get it on in HD or on the 3DS. Because I do have the Circle Pad Pro, and I'm trying to justify me having it. So
I think I recommend the 3DS version because it was built like solely as 3DS first, and then ported back up for HD. So I think 3DS would be a better version for you.
I'm also curious about the 3D of the game
of Evil
of Revelation. So
3D and Evil in 3D. So yeah, Resident Evil. I kind of like this better than actually like them going straight up to Resident Evil 7, unless they really have Resident Evil 7 cooked up.
I doubt they have 7 in the works. Like they have a lot to make up for with 7, so seeing this would be better.
Yeah. So well, it's good to have more survival horror. Just hopefully they stay as a survival horror, because I don't want explosions within explosions again.
Well, that's what Resident Evil can hardly be considered survival horror nowadays. Although I think they're trying to go back to that with the remake of Resident Evil 1, and well, hopefully Revelations will be also in that sense.
Have you seen the character designs for Revelations 2?
Yeah, it looks very not impressive.
Claire looks like shit.
Oh, straight up shit. Okay,
which is weird because knowing Capcom, they super stylize their female characters. And in Revelations, like Jill's ass takes up 8% of the screen, right? And in that tight swimsuit, wetsuit.
Claire doesn't even look like Claire.
Yeah, Claire doesn't look like Claire. And you remember how Ada looks like in 6? She looks younger than she did in 4.
You don't know what's going on over there with Ada.
So that's weird. So maybe this will take a darker tone or something.
I'm still on the boat of saying Resident Evil needs a reboot. Period.
Yeah.
Resident Evil needs a reboot.
A new set of characters too.
It's a clusterfuck already at this point.
Remember when Operation Raccoon City was being marketed as, oh, you can kill Leon Kennedy, and you don't really get to do that.
You don't. It's misled, overly hyped.
You don't even see him get shot.
It was overly hyped.
The screen blacks out.
It never happens.
It sucked.
Never happens. Yeah. All right, moving on. Super Smash Bros. The 3DS version has already been, came out in Japan. And what was pretty interesting about this is apparently there are more characters added into the game, but Nintendo just didn't bother. And it's good. I like the fact that, they didn't bother mentioning these characters. Just, let the players, find out about it, through playing the game. Instead of, the traditional fighters, fighting games, they just released, a new challenger has appeared, and it's a trailer for them and whatnot. It's good that they actually, kept some of them inside the game for people to just explore and to find out. The new characters that are,
are you gonna read out the list?
What, you want to do it?
No, because I'm jumping out.
He doesn't want to be spoiled. No spoilers.
I've been actively avoiding any Smash Bros. Whatevers all weekend.
God, how am I gonna? Okay, whoever wants to know, just email us.
I do know that. I do know that the Duck Hunt dog was confirmed.
Yeah, the Duck Hunt dog.
He was part of the leaks that came before the demo came out.
For the sake of Miggy, yeah, Duck Hunt dog was announced, and a lot more was announced as well. I mean, not announced, more like revealed.
I did hear that unlocking them is a lot easier than previous games. That's
How do you unlock before in Super Smash? You just play the game, right?
You either unlock them by playing the single player mode, and you encounter them on the way, or you fulfill special conditions to unlock them, or you just fight a lot in versus mode. Fight 500 battles, then the secret character will challenge you.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Was there a character like that?
Yeah, like Mewtwo in Melee was like that. 500 fights in versus, or just do something in the arcade modes or something.
I actually like those kinds of unlocks. do this much to unlock
Do this
characters.
or just fulfill this, right?
Yeah. So yeah, there's more to the game, like in terms of characters. So you do check it out. I'll
I
put a
did
link.
hear about
and
the
then
characters who did not make it into the game.
You're secretly finding
No, like
information.
I left the Smash Bros. Philippines group because they kept posting about it. And it's a thing like you see the picture and like, oh fuck, it's too late.
You can't do anything. Damn it, group. Damn
I
it.
left the group until the English game comes out.
All right, fine. We'll move on. For the sake of you, we'll move on. Okay. Another one that I want to mention. There's a big report. Oh, not a big report. Sorry. There's a report that in PC gamers, apparently half of them wait for a game to go on sale before even buying it. Half overall.
That has
And
some funny implications.
Lo and behold, you know who did this?
We're all guilty of it, but
All guilty.
it does have some interesting implications. I think the first implication is like just how much an effect Steam has now on PC gaming.
Yeah, the influence of Steam.
Because the whole sale thing is well, I would say maybe not just Steam, but digital downloads in general. Seems to be a big thing. It seems to me that PC gaming is apart from the big AAA releases, from the usual suspects, Ubisoft and EA and whatever. The majority of like the good PC games now are only going through digital only releases. And of course,
But do you think it's a big blow for the fact that no, for the developers alone, not just for the developers, that they have their games like they hold off just to wait for that specific sale. It'll come up underneath 3 or 4 months. You think overall that'll affect them as
I don't think
companies?
so. Generally speaking, like by selling it digitally, you're cutting out basically the middleman, right? Like I don't know how much Steam gets per sale they make, but
Yeah, because for those who know, like obviously, like these discounts, like them waiting out for a really good deal instead of buying out flat out, in full price, thanks to Steam having those summer sales, winter sales, whatnot, or like they have a sale every freaking day for any game.
75%
There's
off.
always a sale, and it's 75% off. Like, and yeah, it just makes sense. I do it every time. I think maybe 90% of my games are bought because they were on sale.
right,
Like,
exactly. And the thing is, like again, like you're cutting out like
I'm guilty.
by selling it digitally, you don't waste any money like printing or
Yeah,
making the
the
discs
packaging,
or anything
yeah.
like that.
Or even
So
going
you-
to the store.
Or like having it,
transport
your retail network. So essentially, a lot of the costs are not there anymore. You can afford to make these bigger sales, I think, and still make money. Because at the end of the day, like a brand new like AAA game will go for about $60, I guess. But that has to take into account like all that stuff, the printing and all that. And without that, I'm sure you could drop it down significantly and still make a profit out of it.
Well, I guess it all depends on the publisher, Steam, and the actual developer.
But is it healthy? That's a good question because like
That's a really good question.
is it healthy for the industry that it is this sort of you'll only buy it when it's on sale mentality, right? And that's a hard question to answer. I don't think
percent of PC gamers. I don't think it is
I
as
think
well.
if you're a PC developer, you kind of have to take that into account now when you're costing your game,
Yeah,
Like you gotta take into account, like, okay, you know what, I'm probably not gonna sell too many at the standard price, but on sale I'll sell this many, so if I price it at this much, I can still make a profit margin of this much when it's on sale, etc.
I don't know if I'm right though, but I think the bigger ones that'll be affected by this kind of mentality is the indies.
Right.
Because they start up at $15 up front. They're not a $60 game or whatnot. They're either a $20 game, a $15 game, or even a $10 game. And if those games, like after a couple of months, go out 75% off, what is left for the developers to get once they go on sale? As much as it's only a digital only game. Like, do you think that's actually like them are more affected than this? other than developers that are being backed up by publishers and whatnot, and then it gets released by digitally.
Well, that's the thing. Like, that's the other thing you have to consider is like now when you have the game digitally, there's no real lifespan for the game. Like, for more traditional games, you have to think like, okay, we sell it. Well, it's probably gonna have like we'll sell maybe for 2 years, and then sales will die out.
It like goes out of print.
Yeah. Here, in a way, it's like, oh, there's a sale. Here's a chance for me to pick up this game I always wanted to try out, but I never got around to it. So I think digital only also extends the lifespan of games.
Yeah.
True.
Gosh, but in the long run,
like
is it healthy? Yeah, I really don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I don't really know, but definitely I think everybody, even those who are listening right now, they're pretty much a victim because we have a ton of people have like Steam keys are being sent or being sold on different sites. Steam in itself has like weekly, daily, and these like seasonal sales. Also like special sales like a Square Enix sale package or whatnot. Like they constantly have a sale. And people are literally checking the stores just for like the possibility you might get the game you want on sale for like 50, 75% off. That's really what's going on. Is it healthy? I don't know. Remains to be seen. But it's really interesting though that 50%. Yeah, I think I'm right. I think around 90% of my games they're all on sale. Like I think the last time I bought was like Darkness 2, and it's just it kind of increased the lifespan, like you said, because I never bothered to actually get Darkness 2, but since it was like what $1 or $2, I'll get around to playing it eventually. But what do you guys think, actually?
This is also why we see a lot of multi-platform games have the PC release come out last, I think.
That's a good point.
They
that's
actually
actually
focus
one
on
reason.
the consoles because, like, aside from it having a bigger market,
you can get a bigger sale from it on the console, I guess, than on PC.
Yeah, and the whole like sale thing on PC is also probably another factor.
And sometimes some retail ones actually come out in cheaper. Like they come out at $40 instead of the traditional $60 compared to the consoles. Like they're flat out cheaper talaga. Even here in the Philippines, like if you have a multi-platform like PC
is usually the cheapest.
PC is usually the cheapest. So this will affect them in terms of I think it will. That's actually a good point.
Yeah, but then again, you see like PC gaming hasn't been like this strong since, diba? Because
that's true.
Steam has converted a lot of people to PC gaming just because of the ease of access.
And now with Steam Box and stuff coming around, like
it's going to be even easier.
Right.
So I guess it depends on how much. We don't know the internal deal between the publisher and the developers.
and we don't know how much like all like the printing and the packaging actually costs.
Yeah, so I'm just I guess what we're trying to point out is I just really hope that as much as we are seeing that nearly half of us are just buying games on sale, I really hope that in the end developers are actually getting a good chunk of the money and actually profiting for it, because if we have a very profitable developer, that means more games are to be made in that studio. So that's a big win for us as gamers. People who appreciate specific games or specific developers. And you let us know. What do you guys think? Is it worth? Is it beneficial? Is it long term? Is it going to affect the PC gaming world in the long term? Like the mentality of people buying games only on sale. Let us know. Send us an email. Let us know what you think. Next up, which is I think one of the biggest news piece this week. Apparently, Microsoft is very interested, or maybe most likely will buy Mojang, which is pretty much the developers of Minecraft. And they're trying to buy it for, correct me if I'm wrong, $2.5 billion?
$2.5 billion, which is
it's a lot more than Amazon.
Decent chunk of change.
Yes, believe it or not, imagine that. Like, Twitch was bought for $2 billion. $2 billion.
It was 900 million.
No, I think it was $1 billion.
Something like that.
But what I'm saying is, a game or a developer was much higher than Twitch TV.
This has a
And-
lot of strange implications, though. Like, I don't think it's a very good thing for Minecraft players in general, because you got to remember Minecraft is also on Sony consoles now. I think there's a Vita version in the works. There's a PS4 version
It's an
in the
iOS
works.
as well.
iOS, right? So
Well, I guess
if
that becomes
Microsoft
already-
buys it, what's going to happen to all that? For one, that's the first question I have. The second question I have is like, how does Microsoft intend to make its money back from this? Because the way I see it, anyone who wants to play Minecraft has already bought it, for the most part. The game's been around. Excuse me. The game's been available for like how long already? Right? 5 years?
Yeah, for a long. But I'm gonna tell you this right now that people are kind of weirded out still about Minecraft because people are still buying that shit. Like when Minecraft was in PC, the hype build and everybody got into it. People buying. Success. Eventually, it hit consoles. They threw retail versions of it. People bought it. Eventually, hit the mobile. People bought it. People are going next gen. Apparently, people are still buying it. I don't know if their demographic is children or 8 years old all the way up to us or like a 30-year-old or I don't know or 40 or 50. I don't know why, but there's apparently enough to the point that Microsoft is still considering Mojang even at this point. Because I think eventually Minecraft or Mojang is already at a point where they can dip slowly.
Right.
So, but I don't know if it's that point yet. It just feels like it's already at the point because they're definitely at their peak.
But do you think how long would it take for
Microsoft
to make back its money? If you think about it, it's already so saturated. Like, I mean, there's already millions of players there. How many more millions of players can you get? Like, will it really?
Yeah, and I think to my knowledge, a lot of the players like now are on mobile. Even so.
Yeah, but I'll tell you right now though, the kids love it. I don't understand it, and they all play. All the children, all the the preschoolers, or like the 8-year-olds, 10-year-olds, they're playing this game on mobile.
Exactly, they're playing like a lot of these kids don't even know that it's on PC.
They don't know. Some of them they don't know, but they do know Minecraft. They do, try to be creative.
I guess you
with
could
Minecraft
also
and
argue
stuff.
like, okay, there is like also the merchandise, right? I see people with Minecraft T-shirts and then those.
Yeah, they're coming out with a Lego set soon.
There you go,
Yeah.
right? So
That's an amazing idea because just the pixelation.
The bootlegs of them are already here.
Yeah.
I've seen them.
You've seen them.
Yeah, the bootleg Lego Minecraft.
No, see, that's another thing, Will. Like their franchise or their merchandise is only starting to like rack up now.
Yeah, the toys are just coming out now.
The toys are just coming because that's why I don't see that the dip might happen, but I still think that the peak will still keep, either will rise or just stay there. Because the merchandise hasn't really come out. The kids love it. I don't know why. And I'll tell you right now, my brother has a nephew who's 8 years old. He loves Minecraft. He he asked my dad to buy a couple of skins. So he bought a couple of things for me, $1 or $2 online. So imagine that kind of scenario where thousands of kids are asking for maybe a skin from their parents or for their mom. That's a lot of money.
that is, what is it, $2.5 billion worth of
I can
money.
see it being that high.
I can see it being that high, to be honest, yeah.
You think?
Especially since Minecraft is literally in all, right now in all platforms, literally in all
Well, that
platforms.
brings me to so what do you guys think of that? Like, what do you think Microsoft will be like, okay, we're gonna give the PS, are they gonna continue supporting PlayStation and the non-Microsoft platforms? Because from what I understand, a big part of why they're doing this is also they want to bolster their Windows phones sales. So
Can they do that?
I don't think they
actually
can pull it
out?
out of the others because of how big it is now.
yeah, I don't think they can do anything about it now.
They'll probably just
think?
ride along and take that Sony
The
money.
other thing I think they could do, it's like start making Minecraft 2 already, at this point, because Minecraft already has a lot of mods being designed for it. So
Minecraft has an ending. now.
Yeah. So there. So it wouldn't be too hard, I'd say, to slap on a few features. Put a 2 at the end of the name and sell it again. Sell
Make
it all over again.
everything circles.
Make everything. That's a good one.
It's funny though. Like I don't think Minecraft is the kind of game that can get a sequel though.
Yeah,
I mean-
I can't imagine it getting a sequel.
Because like even Little Big Planets is still weird for me even up to this point. Even though like a third one's coming out in December, but because if you think about like for example Little Big Planet 1, 2, and 3, they're about the same game. It's just added features.
And they're putting
Just
the
then
features of the
repackage it.
older games.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Is like, just get a bunch of features from
just
mods,
make it
whatever,
bigger.
put them in it, and then just call it Minecraft 2. People are gonna buy that shit.
Oh well, yeah. If you package it that
People
way,
are
yes,
buying
yes.
iPhones. Like
Oh
every year.
yes, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. That kind of like we are buying iPhones like the next iteration, but the changes are very minimal. Yes, I get it. Yeah, and I guess that'll work. And like even like those guys, shit, man. Minecraft has even more characters than Destiny. I just
Please
realized.
turn on third-person mode at will, anytime.
But Minecraft, man, I can never. I have it in my 360. I bought
Bought
my
it for your
360
360.
for my nephew because he was bugging me. I know I'm the problem to why they're successful. I bought it. It's pretty cool. I'm the same boat. Like I don't know, I can't make stages or like a house or whatnot. Just like how I did not really appreciate the creative mode.
Well,
of,
we played it back when it was still alpha, so we're OG.
yeah.
Played that back.
Do you like it,
the
Will? I mean,
longer.
did you enjoy it though? When like the first time you experienced Minecraft, because I was okay with it, but I wasn't really that.
I think I got
Got
into it.
burned out.
I think I got into it too early. Like I tried it out. It's like, okay, this is kind of cool, but
Mhm.
I never like got beyond the point where like I'm gonna go make a
house
fucking
or a Hyrule Castle.
or like a fucking village or a
Or
boat
like
or
a
whatever.
microchip. You can do that now.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I don't think I
Or
would.
it's-
I got into it too early when it was still sort of this toy that a
Yeah.
few people were kind of like fooling around. It's like, yo, this is pretty cool. And before it really blew up and got, it got that how crazy it did get.
So, but yeah, this is it's at this point, like September 14. A lot of people are now pointing to the fact that Microsoft will make an official announcement that they have bought Mojang for $2.5 billion on Monday. Maybe we've already found out the final information about that after this episode has been released.
Yep.
But yeah, let us know also. Do you think it's actually a good investment for Microsoft?
Was it confirmed that it was actually Notch who initiated this buyout?
A lot of people. There's no confirmation, but a lot of people are saying that that's the case
Because
when Notch showed up in E3, he was so buddy with Phil Spencer for like the longest time.
you think Notch knows it's gonna dip soon? Then he's just
Okay,
gonna-
now, I'll tell you this right now, though, that Notch is already not confirmed, but a lot of people are saying that Notch will leave once this deal is official.
So he knows. I'm assuming.
He says that he's done so much in this company, I will sell it and I will move on. That's what it sounds like.
And take
Like,
all the money with me.
And take all the money with it, but
In
I don't
my
blame him.
yacht.
Let him do
Yeah.
other things, right?
So
Like,
it's a really smart move if it's Notch who initiated this.
yeah, if Notch initiated this and Notch leaves, yes,
Then
that's a very
Microsoft was like,
smart.
yes, Minecraft. Oh, the kids
Yeah.
love that.
And Mojang literally is the heart of why Minecraft is successful. So if him leaving, and him, like the rest, doing Minecraft
I'm
working.
sure Notch is sick of Minecraft now.
Yeah, and then I'm sure Notch is to a point where I want to, creatively be something else
He
than
probably
Minecraft.
had more fun making Cliff Force than the past 3 years of Minecraft.
Has anybody played? Has anybody played Scrolls?
Is it even out?
is that out?
I don't know. Is it out? Because I know that like Scrolls is also part of like the deal.
That was
if
their
ever they
second
do it.
game, supposedly.
Yeah, it's their second game.
Then
So
they got sued
yeah, they got sued by who else?
by Skyrim.
By Skyrim. It's so weird. But yeah, 2.5 billion. I didn't expect it to be that high, but if you think about it really hard, it makes sense. Yeah, I think that's it in terms of the news and the big topics for episode 49. Before I close off this episode, with the whole Minecraft deal, let us know just as well, like if you think it's a good deal or you think it's about to dip. You can send an email or a reply or question at the TMG Podcast at gmail.com. We'd love to cater any of your questions or suggestions or any of the topics that we've just discussed in this episode. Do hit us up. We'd like to also have you join the conversation. If you want to check out our previous episodes, we have an episode every single week. Every Tuesday we have a new one. You can go to our website, www.toomuchgaming.com. That's 2 with a number 2. We have an archive there all set up. You can check out our previous episodes all the way since 2014 of even October. Like, dude, it's been almost a year.
Dude, we're still in 2014.
2013. Sorry, 2013. So, yeah, do check it out if you want to check out really old episodes. Or if you want to get updated on the latest ones through your, iPhone or whatnot, and then download the latest episodes for your commutes or whatnot, just subscribe on iTunes. We're in iTunes. So, hit us up there. Please do rate or comment. We appreciate the support, and it will help us, go up there in the search functions. And yeah, if you want to check out any of our latest articles or whatnot, you can also hit us up on our social media sites. Facebook, it's Too Much Gaming, so like our page. Twitter, Too Much Gaming as well. Follow if you want to get any of our latest info. And we also make a lot of videos and shenanigans. We have the TMG blog all set up for you. Just check out all of our videos that Miggy's been setting up pretty much every day. There's always something new every day.
Yeah, we got a new sexy video of Dead or Alive Extreme 2.
Woo!
Oh, you guys did play that
Yes,
when I was away.
Should be out by the time this podcast comes out, so.
Dude, check it out, yes.
Sexy.
Wait, is it the latest beach volleyball?
Yeah, the latest one was 2006. So.
Okay, you're distracting me. Anyway, yes, this is episode 49. Thank you for listening in. We'll see you. We'll be back next week. And yeah, thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next time.
See you guys.